had a very exciting moment detailing all that are coming for the celebration of the diamond anniversary of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in Nigeria, particularly in Ogun State here, where we're going to have a very symbolic and enigmatic appearance. It is going to be a big show. And Femi,
yes, please.
Thank you for being here once again. Thank you for your
It's always my pleasure.
Analysis last week.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Bimbo Alagbe, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure being here.
Back again.
Thank you.
I told you a story that probably on this set, there's a generation. I'm 3 sets of generations of PR chairmen in Ogun State. I was chairman, Bimbo Alagbe was the vice, Bimbo Alagbe was the chairman, Femi Dokunmu was the vice, and here we are again, doing our business once again, in PR with Professors for Life. So, we're still on the 60th anniversary, talking about diamond anniversary of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. NIPR resistance in Nigeria. Can you say the impact has not been made? Bimbo?
Well, we want to say that NIPR has really come of age. In the past, even when you mention the NIPR, there are, when we started, people would be asking, apart from the fact that people just have PRU, they want to know what exactly you stand for, what do you do. But now, the practice has actually come to the limelight, in the essence that even in the scheme of service now, as mentioned in one of the episodes, highlighting the fact that information managers in the scheme of service in Nigeria are now known as information and public relations officers, and that public relations is not just a function; it's a management function, and that there is a contribution into the management of whether it's in the public or in the private sector. So we want to say that NIPR, as an institute and the practice of public relations has really come of age, looking at its practice in Nigeria.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate your contribution. Femi, let's look at the nitty-gritty of the activity on June 1st, this coming Saturday. I learned there's going to be a walk. How is going to be the appearance? Where's the starting point? What are the other activities that will be contained? And where are we starting? Where is it ending? And who are the iconic personalities that you are expecting to grace the occasion? How are we moving?
Well,
you go to Carnival like?
Oh, certainly so. We have every reason to celebrate. And so we will have pomp and pageantry. We're going to have drums. We are going to have carnival-like appearance with T-shirts which are branded. We are going to have different people coming in to move around town and show people that this is public relations, and we want all the people to rejoice with us. The takeoff point is the Secretariat of the Ogun State chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and that is, along the boulevard beside the Central Bank of Nigeria. And then we are going to have our route, going via from that secretariat to, we bust out in front of the is it zone 2 that we have there, or the just by the gate of the governor's house there. Yeah. And then we move down via Omida. We go via Omida, to Pansheke and all that, and
on our way to the poly.
On our way to the poly for the tree planting session. But certainly we have the people who are key figures, those who have played active roles in the development of public relations. Don't forget that the decree setting up the NIPR talked about NIPR given the mandate to train, to train and to regulate the practice of public relations and the development of public relations in Nigeria. So some of the people who have played roles in the development of the NIPR, especially from Ogun State, are going to be there. We'll have the first registrar. Of course, before him there have been some people who have been Secretary General. You have Shifasi Yusuf, who was there, a former commissioner in Ogun State, who also played a major role then. But you also have Adekunle Salu, the head of state, the current, head of service, please permit me, the current head of service in Ogun State, Kennedy Onosoya, is also a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. He's going to be part of the program. He will also be planting a tree to commemorate the 60 years of NIPR in Nigeria. That is how, that's the picture.
And of course,
Minister of State for Environment, who incidentally hails from Ogun State, has agreed to, he has accepted the invitation to be the special guest of honor there. You know, when we are talking of preservation of the environment, afforestation, climatic change and stuff like that, biodiversity, and so on and so, conservation and the rest. He has been going around, he has been using public relations, enlightenment, and even journalism around, publicity. He has been making a lot of publicity to sensitize the people, to create awareness on the need for everybody to be part of the need to preserve our environment. So he readily accepted to be the special guest of honor, and so we are looking forward to having him in Ogun State, in Abeokuta, on that day. That is the 1st of June.
Well, that would be great to have the Honorable Minister with us. Bimbo, yeah. What are the essence of having trees planted, and what are the benefits to the immediate community that the trees are going to be planted, and to the socio-economic development of the nation? What are the attributes and what will be the benefits?
Well, when we looked at the deforestation, this is what, this is where it will lead us. We were talking not too long ago, and somebody was saying, oh, just within the night, that sometimes he wakes up to take his bath about 3 times or so before daybreak, between 10 and 5. And you can imagine the kind of heat, that has been unleashed. So the carelessness of what we were doing in the past led us to the kind of trouble that we have now, which has been
degraded, which
yes,
has been able to degrade our environment and the like.
The environment is so degraded now that
there's a lot of heat.
We are no longer enjoying the cool breeze, which is supposed to.
Environment.
And then, apart from that, you will find out that once there is a little rain and it's a little windy, we have quite a number of things blown off, roofs, masts, and economic things like that, causing damages, and it's because of the deforestation. So when you look at that, and the Nigerian government looked at it and said, now we made a mistake in the past, and we're not looking at who are the people who made this mistake. Can we now, correct that and redress, these mistakes? And, they've looked at it that it's better for us to begin to plant trees. Most of the places that have been, trees that have been removed, there is nothing to give you the cool breeze, like we have in the villages and the farm. And then now we also observe that some of the trees that are left, to mature in the past have been taken. I was passing by on a street, in Ibadan not too long ago, and I saw that these trees that are used for poles, for electric poles.
Teak trees?
Yes. If you see the size, when we were growing, they are as fat as this. But the one that they use now,
they do not allow them to even grow.
they don't even allow them to mature. You can actually handle some of them and use them as twin sticks. You know, and that's exactly what we use. So the commercial benefits from some of these trees, they have been taken away because when you now need them, there are no trees, there are no mature trees. So now, if we are going back and now dedicating parks, you know, to have afforestation,
go green.
This a green, you know, that's where people can actually take the cool breeze, where they can actually also control winds that can cause damages, and then people will need to know that the mistakes of the past, this is how we started, and then we can actually get that corrected. Now, if these trees are left in those parks, they are not just going to be fell anyhow. And so when they mature, you know, that can also still add back to the economic value, you know, of the trees, so that they can also add, economic value to the community where those trees are planted.
Beyond having the green legacy parks, I think it goes to say that even individuals with a landed space can also begin to cultivate the habit of planting trees. And what it does is to probably mitigate the effect of, there's a narration from my uncle where he stays in Ketu, Lagos. He says there's a route with which all these winds pass through. And when they pass through its end, it's a symbol that back in Ijebu, he said there's a root. So if those trees were planted and they were able to mitigate, reduce the effect, you see the issues of ceilings, roofs being blown away will be reduced. So what's your advice for the individuals?
Well, you will recall that when we paid the courtesy visit to the management of the Moshood Abiola Polytechnic that we are partnering with on this issue of going green and having the green park, NIPR green park. You recall that they said they deliberately left many of the trees and planted many trees in and around the premises to serve as a way, as a shield,
as a windbreaker.
A windbreaker, so to say, you know, so that because in the past they discovered that many of their roofs get blown off. But since they have been leaving those trees there, they have been serving that purpose of reducing the effect, yes, of storms and all that. So what that means to all of us is that instead of just cutting trees in and around our houses, we should consciously leave these trees to be there. Where instead of just cementing all your compound, leave some areas which you have grasses and which you also have some plants there. Don't let us have all these things removed, because if you just do the cementing, the tendency is that there is a lot of runoff of water, which then goes into the gutters. If there are gutters anyway, in some cases there are no gutters. So once they go out, there is a lot of erosion. There is a lot of flooding outside the various streets that we have. And that is the problem that we're having all over the place now. And there's also this aspect or this culture of our people to keep their refuse in the house and wait for the rain to come. Once there is rainfall, they quickly go out and dump all these things in the drainages. And so we keep having that problem. So one of the ways, very potent ways of reducing the climatic effect or the climate change that we have, mitigating climate change, effect of climate change, is for us to plant trees. And that is what we are doing consciously as a matter of corporate social responsibility by the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, and to key into some of the programs and policies of the federal government of Nigeria. It's just sensitivity about the NIPR.
Good as we are saying all this, what's your advice to government, particularly government agency that is involved in the control of this kind of, Ministry of Environment, what should they be doing now? Sensitizing or other projects that you envision?
Now, we can never we can never overemphasize the need for people to be educated and about afforestation. Now, if we say plant a tree or 2 trees, one in your, somewhere around your house, and they begin to give the benefits of doing that, we will see that it's a cheaper way of, insurance against the effect of a storm. Look, we may not have hurricanes in and around here, but the point is that when there is a storm anywhere and there is nothing to break the wind, even if it happens 3 streets away, it can actually bring that to your own, to your own roof. If your roof is not blown away, a blown roof can actually land on yours, and it will be as devastating as even if it is taken. So the Federal Ministry of the Environment, both at the federal level and the state, should intentionally get these messages across to the people. The Nigerians and everybody, indigenous and non-indigenous alike, are the target publics, that we need to know that everybody should stop just felling trees anyhow, and that each compound, maybe they will now have to give, within a particular, measurement, dimension, that this is the number of trees, minimum number of trees that should be within a particular compound. We will be better for it. Now that things are, are getting costlier, even if you don't have, electricity supply, you should be able to at least have cool breeze so that you can sleep at night. And then, if people are not sleeping well, definitely it will affect their productivity when they get back to work, the following day. And one of the things to control sicknesses is when there is a good rest. If there is no good rest, then there is no life following that. So these are things that should be put together for people to see the reason why trees must be planted around their houses, and for different benefits that are there. I think the Federal Ministry of Environment and the Ministry of Information should synergize in getting this across to the people so that they can know the benefits of having trees.
Thank you very much. Femi, as he was discussing, it just occurred to me that this change in style of living, or some of us now patterning our environment to having a kind of concrete and the like, not making our environment conducive to generating enough oxygen. What do you think you can do about that?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I think Bimbo has actually highlighted the effects, the ripple effect or multiple effects of not having enough of trees around our various homes, especially in the cities. And to that extent, what we are doing now, this program itself, is serving as an enlightenment to the people. He talked about synergy between the Ministry of Information and the Ministry of Environment,
even forestry,
and for those experts in charge of forestry and the rest. Yes, that is what is happening, and that is why we are also spending our time now. If we are talking about advocacy, don't forget that the current Minister of Information and Orientation, National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, is also a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. And so that is why it is easy for us to synergize and see how we can ensure that we collaborate with the Ministry of Environment and ensure that we work towards enlightening the people, creating awareness, making the people realize that everybody has one role or the other to play Nobody should be left behind in ensuring that we plant trees, or we ensure that we do less of activities that will erode our environment. Once we can do all this, we can confidently say that we are on the right path. So advocacy, enlargement, awareness creation, which OGTV is also helping us to do, I think that is the right way to go.
Thank you very much. You are into tourism. What do we do to engender visitation to parks as entertainment spots or relaxation spots? Because I can see that the habit is dying fast.
Well, quite a number of things we can do. When you look at tourism as itself, it is visiting places so that you can get better educated. I remember that there are places that people go at some point in time that some trees or some things are marked, and people want to know their usefulness. In those days, I remember that this the tree which we call Dogon in the Yoruba balance, within the Yoruba land and the environs, we believe that when you boil anything that has to do, whether it's the bark of the tree, whether it's the leaf of the tree, whether it's even the seed, that is coming from it, whatever thing it is, that it is something that goes into the treatment of malaria, for example. And I find out that quite a number of people are coming there now because, one, they are seeing the efficacy of the herbs. So, in promoting tourism, there are some things that are peculiar to some places, maybe a particular part of Nigeria, a particular part of the state, and we should encourage people to come and see what we have. Most of the places that we travel to, for tourism, is because of the stories that have been wound around some of those sites that are visited. We should create our own story and let people see the goodness about having to visit us. The almighty forex that we are looking out for in oil and gas can actually come to us if we promote that. Even looking at what we are going through now, there is something that is called tourism in tourism. Mm-hmm. When the rich people visit the poor places to experience what the poor people are going through, with a view to making their lives better by providing, and changing the environment to make them more comfortable and bringing the affluence into those poor areas. From poverty and tourism, we have the tourism. So it doesn't matter, it's not about things that have to be, we can actually be friendly with people so that people can visit us. Look at the calling visit of the Duke and the Duchess, yes. Visiting Nigeria and making some things into the empowerment of women, or visiting people who are in the military and who are, who have been wounded and things like that. That's part of tourism. They have come, they have called attention, to some things that are happening, and they are trying to see how they can make life better, even for people that are there. So, coming about trip, there are some trees, there are some plants that are, traditional to us, and then the stories that we tell around them will make people come, and when they come with their money. I'm
glad you mentioned the medicinal aspect.
Yes.
Or historical aspect about some trees. I am aware that the cashew tree, when you cut the bark, it is medicinal against snake bite. So if there's a snake bite, and you quickly chew it, it will reduce the effect of the venom before you get to where you can be taken care of. There are so many other ones. You might have to just stop. Your last bite.
Well, let me say it again that the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations has always been there to ensure that we enlighten the people, create awareness, and create that understanding between government and various organizations and the publics. And we have been doing a lot in this regard, and we shall continue by the grace of God Almighty.
5 seconds, your last bite.
Well, let's all come out and be part of what the NIPR is doing at this point in time.
Well, you can also link up with OGTV on YouTube. You can link up with Pr-Primus, your image on YouTube, on Facebook, and other social media handles. We're there. Well, this is where we're going to have to stop. It's been very interesting with my co-travelers, my former dear colleagues, and currently they are professing their own.
Colleagues, the colleagues for so many years.
Yeah, professionally we are colleagues, and we will die professing public relations. It is on this great note that I'm going to say thank you to both of them and to you viewers at home. Join us on this tree planting session. Until next week, when we come with another brand new topic, it is a great pleasure having you there. Bye.
The lights are on and the stage is set for dreams to take flight.